First things first, you are blessed and you're in a good position. You have a naturally ectomorphic build, meaning you're kind of narrow at the clavicles, you're skinny, you don't have much body fat. You do not have to go into a fat loss phase first, so stop moaning that you're skinny. You've literally hit the jackpot. Most people are fat, okay? Get that out of the way. You can go straight into a gaining phase. What we need to understand, there's a few fundamentals that I'm going to dive into. If you don't do these guys, you're just not going to build the physique you want. Trust me, take it from me, I was very, very skinny. I built about 30 kilos of muscle over about 15 years. I've done it all wrong, and I've done a few things right. I've learned a few things in between, and this is why I'm speaking to you, okay? You need to go into a surplus of calories. Find your maintenance, go on Google, body calculator, there's about 1 billion of them. Find out your calories, your activity, boom, boom, boom. There's your maintenance, let's go above it. As a naturally ectomorphic person, someone that's very, very skinny, you can probably take your surplus to around 500 calories, okay? So if you maintain your body weight at 2,400 calories, you're going to go to 2,900 calories. This is a bigger jump than I would give most people, but you are not most people, you're very, very skinny, you need to build muscle. That 500 calorie jump, the initial jump is a big one, then they're slow after that, yeah? So you take yourself from 24 to 2,900, that's you. You're gonna run that for about 7 days, weighing yourself every morning. You wake up, go for a wee, weigh yourself. The 3 W's, wake up, wee, weigh. Accurate number, write it down. If your weight doesn't budge in the first week, yeah, and you stay at 65 kilos, you're going to add another 250 calories in, yeah? Then you're gonna track every day. You should start creeping up about half a kilo per week, 2 kilos per month. That is the sweet spot, okay? 1 pound per week for the Americans on here. That's where we wanna be. Guess what happens, guys, if your body weight doesn't go up? You do another 250 calorie jump, yeah? Simple, you keep going. But ideally, you have the 500 calorie jump, you're probably gonna start gaining. You probably won't need to do that first 250 calorie jump up for hopefully weeks and weeks and weeks, yeah? Because the quicker you go, the more fat you're gonna put on. We wanna be nice and slow. You do not build muscle in 4 weeks. You build muscle in 4 years. It takes time. We need to be in this surplus for 9 to 12 months, this first round, to build real muscle. Remember, we're talking about building the complete physique in the shortest amount of time possible, which means we need to be in a gaining phase because you're not gonna put on body fat, okay? 500 calorie surplus, start tracking your body weight. If it doesn't budge, 250 calories, increase. Over the weeks, every now and then you'll hit a sticking point where your body weight doesn't budge. After you've stayed the same for about a week to 10 days, you have that initial calorie increase, okay? You keep doing that. You'll find that when you're at over 3,000 calories, you're just gaining weight every week. The skinny guys that say, I eat so much food, I can't gain weight. They're not eating so much food. They're not eating so much food. Simple, done, don't care. If you're eating 4,000 calories, I don't care who you are. If you're skinny, you're gonna put on weight, okay? And if you can't, go 4,250. Whiteboard, hold on, disaster. My whiteboard with my notes on is flying away. Okay, so that's the first thing we're gonna do. We're looking at a 9 to 12 month surplus, yeah? So about a year long. After you've done it and you put on all this weight, 10, 12 kilos, whatever you might have put on, because you're an ectomorph and you're a naturally skinny guy, you do a 6-week fat loss phase, you just, boom, you're shredded straight away. You've got the best genetics to get lean. You don't need to do a fat loss phase for 20 weeks. You add cardio, drop your food down, shredded straight away. It's very important we're able to eat as many calories as possible because you lose muscle very easily, just like you lose body fat very easily, okay? We want to maintain all that muscle, yeah? Now, you're training 3 to 4 days a week. You do not need to do a 6-day training split. If you can't build muscle and you're very, very skinny, why are you training 6 days a week and only having 1 day off when you only grow in that day off? What are you doing? What are you doing? You need to train 3 times a week, full body 1, 2, 3, or 4 times a week, upper, lower, or push-pull legs upper, training everything between 2 and 3 times a week with either 3 or 4 days off. What are we trying to do here? Trying to build muscle. You build muscle when you rest, when you sleep, through adequate rest, nutrition, all that good stuff. Training 6 days a week is stupid, don't do it, okay? If you wanna know what training plan to do, I have a 3-day training plan, just type it in, the best 3-day training plan for beginners, and I've got 4-day training plans on my course below as well. I have the 3-day plans and the 4-day plans already put into the course. We just click a link, it comes up, the exact workouts, the exact reps and sets, it's all there for you, okay? Now, you are going to build a lot of muscle because you're increasing your calories and you're going to continue to increase them, and you're having proper rest days where you actually grow. So it's important that your training's dialed in, which means we need to be focusing on pretty much the biggest compound lifts possible. I'm not going to rave on about it too much because I've got loads of videos on this, but as an ectomorph, you need to get good at chin-ups, big heavy presses, heavy rows, heavy dips, heavy overhead presses, heavy squats, and a heavy hinge off the floor and some sort of heavy single leg exercise, okay? I've literally got a whole video on all of the movements that you need to build muscle. Do not waste time doing 1 hour arm workouts, 1 hour lateral raises and rear delt flies and leg extensions. Go in there. If you want to build big legs, get good at squatting, get good at deadlifting, get good at lunging. That is it. You don't need to leg press. You don't need to do 45 pendulum squats. You don't need single leg hip thrusts. You don't need hamstring curls. You need to get really good at RDLing heavy, really good at squatting, either a hack squat or a normal squat, really good at a lunge or a split squat or a Bulgarian split squat. Those 3 exercises will put more muscle on your legs over time than anything else. You don't need all the other shit. Just like you can do 50 sets for chest, yeah, all different angles to work all different fibers, or you can just get really good at pressing, really strong at dipping, and your pecs will grow more than anything else, okay? Stick to the basics. Get strong as possible on all big compound lifts whilst driving calories up over time that continue to go up as body weight goes up. And if body weight stalls for 1 to 2 weeks, you then do a calorie increase, never before, and you run it for at least 9 to 12 months, okay? Those are the basics, training 3 to 4 times a week. In terms of the actual calories we drive up, okay, a lot of you guys will think, oh, if I want to get big, I've got to eat loads of protein. Not true. If you are a 160 pound male or an 80 kilo male, you need to eat 160 grams of protein. That is it. You don't need to eat much more than that. If you want to build muscle, you need to drive carbohydrates and fats up over time. Mostly carbohydrates. If you take yourself from 160 grams of protein, say you want to get big and you go 260 grams of protein, first of all, it's overkill. Secondly, it's really satiating and you're going to be really full. You're not going to be able to eat the calories needed. You increase protein in a fat loss phase because of how full it makes you and because of muscle retention. You have no issue losing muscle because you are in a massive calorie surplus, training hard, recovering, sleeping, and all that good stuff. You need to drive carbohydrates up over time, fats up over time, and keep protein consistent at about 2 grams per kg. 2.2 grams per kg, 1 gram per pound. Everyone knows that, all right? Cardio. So just before I get to it, so you might end up on 500-600 grams of carbohydrates. This is normal. This is normal. Heavy amount pre-workout, intra-workout, post-workout, shakes before bed, shakes in the morning. This is how you build muscle, guys. You need calories. Don't just think eating loads of protein builds loads of muscle. It doesn't work that way. It retains muscle in a fat loss phase, but we drive carbohydrates in the gaining phase, yeah? With those days off. Train 6 days a week as an ectomorph. Show me your physique. Now, cardio. Cardio should always be in year round, yeah? But I recommend keeping it to a minimal during these gaining phases. Because you are a naturally skinny guy, you burn calories very easily, you get lean very easily. If you do too much cardio, it will impact your training, it will interfere with your lifts, it will interfere with recovery, and you'll start to burn too many calories. So keep it at a minimal. 3 times a week, 20 minutes a session, maybe 30 minutes a session. I'd even say 3 15 to 20 minute sessions a week during a gaining phase is plenty. And if you're smart, you can utilize it to increase your hunger. So maybe you train, have a post-workout meal, 1,000 calories, get as many carbohydrates in, some protein, no fats, as it slows absorption. Slam, maybe like a shake, for example. That would be a great time to have a shake. Then go and do your 15 minutes of cardio, help kind of let that food settle, or go for a power walk, and it's going to allow you to eat another meal sooner, okay? But you don't want to be slamming loads and loads and loads of cardio during a gaining phase, doing high rocks, doing CrossFit, if you're naturally a skinny guy. The next thing, sleep, yeah? Sleep is crucial. Yes, we want those 3 to 4 days off. I recommend 4 days off. You want to be sleeping 7 to 9 hours. You want your calories to be through the roof over time, because they've gradually climbed. You don't just go, oh, I'm bulking 4,000 calories. Yeah, you build your calories up over time, just like you decrease them over time in a fat loss phase. Very, very important. Sleep, 7 to 9 hours. Have a good sleep routine. You build muscle in your sleep. You grow in your sleep. If you're having 4 hours of sleep, drinking alcohol twice a week, getting hammered, doing all-nighters with the boys, you're an idiot and you're not going to build muscle, okay? That was me from 18 to 26, training hard, not eating much food, getting pissed every Friday and Saturday, doing all-nighters. I used to go to a house party on Saturday. I used to train Saturday, yeah? Go to a house party, stay up all night till 8 in the morning, leave the house party at 8 in the morning, go and play Sunday league football, play football, then go home and sleep. And I couldn't understand why my lifts were going down on a Monday. My sleep is just as important as my training. My food quality is just as important as my training. My recovery is just as important as my training, okay? If you are an ectomorph, you are blessed. Some ectomorphs that build great physiques, they have the best physiques because they're big, they're lean, they're full. But you have to go through this stuff, okay? You have to go through the slow gaining phases, building muscle over time, the mini fat loss phases because you get lean so quick. But once you crack it after a few years, you guys have the best physiques out there. And if you want all of the guesswork taken out, you want to learn all of my training plans, all of my principles, everything is in my course below. Give it a little watch. See you in the next one.